is weird. I turned on the camera and it's not working.
Hmm.
I'm sorry. I might actually have to try this again real
All
quick.
right.
I'll be right back.
All right. We're live anyway, so.
Yeah.
Okay, we're live, and this is ABQ.
ABQ.
Abiquiu. That's what Google Translate told me. Abiquiu. I wonder how come this episode's Abiquiu. Because this is an Abiquiu.
Well, there was an ABQ also. There was the episode. That was the episode. Remember, flight such over ABQ. Oh, we lost him. He's back.
Google Chrome crashed. Can you hear me?
Google Chrome won't even let me in. It says I'm not authorized.
Well, that sucks.
And now it's like I can't be seen. I don't know what's going on.
Your camera's still messed up.
Yeah.
Anyway, Abiquiu is tonight's episode.
Abiquiu.
That's what Google Translate says.
Yeah, it's a town in northern New Mexico where Georgia O'Keeffe lived.
That's where it comes in. Well, now, of course, we see in the beginning, we see a flashback.
Yep. We see
with
the flashback.
Jesse and Jane, and they're looking at a painting.
O'Keeffe Museum, and they're looking at the door.
Yeah, and Jesse's talking about vaginas.
Yeah, because she said that they looked like vaginas, but they didn't. Well, I mean, they did, but he thought they were,
actual vaginas.
He thought he was going to a porn exhibit.
Yeah.
So we see the flashback, and we see the cigarette that she punts in his car. And we lost Ellen.
Yeah.
We're losing everybody tonight. So
yes,
we see
the lipstick covered cigarette, which he still kept in his ashtray.
Yeah.
In his car.
Got the old wife beater on today.
I see. You broke it back out.
Yeah, gotta crank things out. It's been so hot over here. But anyway, so we see the flashback with Jane and Jesse, and I'm glad they did the flashback because it's like transitioning the relationship from Jane and Jesse to Jesse and Andrea that we see later. Oh, we can see Ellen tonight.
There
Sorry,
she is.
it crashed.
Hey, we got her.
Oh, Google crashed too on you?
Yeah, I had two video windows open. That's what was going on with the camera.
Yeah.
It's like I was in some other room somewhere.
I see your.
But here, this is why I really wanted to be seen. It wasn't about me, but I got all this free stuff from this artist that my daughter works for, and these are pink sweatpants stenciled on the butt. I had to have them. Yeah, I won't be wearing them outside, like in public, but I had
if
to
you
have
do,
them.
you can always crash some guy's head with an ATM.
I got my new peace shirt on too, which is interesting that I picked this because Jesse is wearing a peace shirt, not a pea, not like peas that you eat, a peace shirt.
Peace sign, yeah.
Yeah, that at the very end of that episode when he's not very happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we was talking about the teaser in the beginning with Jesse and Jane.
Did that not look like it was a play?
Romeo and Juliet?
It was like he steps in and says something, then she steps in and says something. It was like a play. And I don't know if you saw the extras, but Vince said they really weren't going to do flashbacks. They didn't have any intention to, but it worked out that because it well, why did they do it? Did the title come before or after?
Well, I feel that was a nice transitioning from Jesse and Jane to Jesse and Andrea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did too. I thought that was a really nice transition that they did with that. And go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
I I was just going to say, Jesse says something to Andrea at the end, which is something that Jane said. It was about making the feeling last.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was talking about the meth that was going to make the feeling last longer.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Jane was talking about painting your favorite home door to make that feeling last. You know, that feeling of being at home. So he's let go of Jane, but he's got a piece of her still, and he's moving on. But he's not trying to hook up with Andrea in the beginning. That's not the goal.
No.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, so we might have to break this down because there's so much going in this episode.
Oh, I know. So, yeah, really, a lot going on.
So I want to start with Jesse and Andrea because that too, the twist when they were sleeping together shocked the hell out of me when I first saw it. I'm like, oh my God, he's sleeping with the woman whose little brother killed Combo.
That's right.
Yep, and it's only because he doesn't want her to do it because he doesn't, you know, because she's got a kid, and it almost gets into a really heated argument. But he he kind of apologizes and they talk.
Yeah.
And it's sounding to him before he even checks it out that this was Combo. And she said he was 10 years old.
Yeah.
Tomas. That they hooked him up when he was 8, and then he had to prove himself at 10. 10.
That was a powerful scene right there.
And he's not revealing anything to Andrea about. You know, the look on his face kind of looks like more like concern. That's how I would take it if I were Andrea.
I see something else in the background of Ellen's.
Yeah, I see it too.
Yeah.
The Breaking Bad box set in the window.
Yeah, she's got the box set. I see it in the background.
Yep.
Yep.
Was that planned?
Over her left shoulder.
Yeah. I didn't put there. That was an accident. Didn't put it there on purpose. I always keep it on the windowsill. Anyway.
Henry, when you first saw this episode and heard about the reaction between Andrea and Jesse, what was your thought?
When she started talking about, you know, that he was, you know, on the street corner and he was, you know, on the bicycle, I put it together. I said, that's the kid who shot Combo.
Yeah. That was... Oh, my God.
I think it would have gone over my head if not for Jesse's reaction as she was talking. Because it was like, you know, I can kind of space out. All right, I get it. You have a little brother, and you don't want your son to turn out the way he has. And, yeah, that was a really interesting conversation. You could talk about that all day.
Yeah.
Because Jesse's like, you've got a kid. And she's like, what? So you have no responsibilities? So you can get high?
Well, Jesse saw firsthand with Peekaboo and how trashy those parents were.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. He did, yeah. And then on this episode, we see Walt keeping a close eye on Jesse while they're you know, cooking the meth.
A Grandpa Anus. Yes, that's what Jesse called him.
Yeah, Grandpa Anus.
Because he was saying it's a little harder to get the stuff right now.
Yeah, and we see Jesse at his Narcotics Anonymous, I guess it's
his rehab program.
His sham.
Rehab program, and we see Badger and Skinny Pete.
And they only sold a tenth to each other.
A tenth.
Badger sold a tenth.
They sold a tenth to each other, yeah.
To Skinny Pete, which is funny.
But they're like, who is it? Badger says, this is like, you can't do this, man. It's like shooting a baby in the face.
Yeah, that was Badger that said that. Yeah,
Badger said that. And then Jesse was trying to prove Badger wrong.
Right. Yeah, you could tell. Here, I'll show you.
And it backfired on him.
Right. Because it was like shooting a kid in the face.
Uh-huh.
And I don't... It's going ahead, but I don't think they ever do it together.
No.
Mm-mm.
I don't think so.
Oh, well, yeah, because something will happen that'll... Yeah, never mind.
And this is the episode where we see, finally, Skyler meets Saul.
The funny scene. Yes, that's great. I love that.
What was it? Oh. What was it he said about her?
Something about
the right kind of dirty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The right kind of dirty. I like
Smart
that.
with just the right amount of dirty or something.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
And
Saul.
She's not impressed. It's kind of like she gives him the same look she would give Hank. If he's like, I want Shania Twain to give me a tuggy, she'd be like, and then he's like explaining the joke. Oh, it's funny because you're so clearly classy. And it's just funny because, Walt has already told Skyler that this is a top guy.
Mm-hmm.
And she's in there going, wow, now.
Yeah, she's like, this is a top guy? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you really want to know who this is? But, I mean, she's right. She's in it. Right now she has decided to accept the money for Hank's sake.
Yeah.
Especially because she feels like it's because of Walt that Hank is in this condition. So she wants to make sure it's done right. Mm-hmm. And when she meets Saul, she's like, she's not really all that confident.
Right, no. Especially when Saul comes up with the idea of laser tag.
He's a scientist. Scientists love lasers.
Yeah, exactly. I
really do hope we meet Danny in Better Call Saul.
Yeah, Danny. Yeah, the
laser tag
guy at laser tag. Yeah, Danny.
Oh, okay, the guy who actually owns the place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was just thinking, I really hope to see Skyler again. Went back, if they get to the point where they're back, where they're up to those days, those Walter White
That'd
years.
Be great. Yeah. Matter of fact, they just showed a Seinfeld episode where Anna Gunn played one of Jerry's girlfriends.
Yes. Yeah. She's been in a bunch of little things.
In the car scene, it seems like that Saul has already met Walter because he asked, "Are you that wax on, wax off guy?" So maybe in Better Call Saul, we'll see Walter White, cleaning up cars in the background.
Well, Bryan Cranston has already expressed, he says, hey, I'd be glad to do a cameo as Walter White.
And we finally got to see Kevin Costner, because on this episode, Kevin Costner...
the connection goes back to Better Call Saul, where he says, I once told a woman I was Kevin Costner.
It worked because I believed it.
And it worked because I believed it. Yeah.
And then it plays out.
And we finally get to see
Saul. that. 7 Emmy nominations, guys.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Jonathan Banks is one of them.
Oh, yeah. Nothing for Walking Dead 2 years running, Henry. Nothing. I mean, not even, like, makeup? I mean, really? Special effects? Something?
Wait a minute. I haven't seen the Emmys nominations. So Jonathan Banks got a nomination.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yes.
For Better Call Saul.
Bob Odenkirk.
Yes.
The show itself, and I'm not sure what the other ones are.
I'm very glad he got the nomination.
Mm-hmm.
The show it's up against Game of Thrones, House of Cards.
Yeah.
Orange is the New Black. I mean, all these shows that are up there. Downton Abbey.
The way I look at it, even if Jonathan Banks doesn't win it, at least they recognize him.
Yeah.
Oh, he'll win it. He's gonna win it.
He is amazing.
He is gonna win it.
I hope so, man. I am
telling you right now, he's getting it.
Oh man, that'd be awesome if he does.
He made the ratings for that show soar. I mean, they weren't bad already, but that was a spike.
Yeah.
It had nothing to do with Saul. It had nothing really to do with Bob Odenkirk. It was all about Mike.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
That was, great stuff. So, yeah, I predict he's going to win.
Speaking of Jonathan Banks, there's a new video game out called Batman Arkham Knight, and he is the voice of Commissioner Gordon on that.
Really?
Yes. Now, he actually follows Bryan Cranston, who voiced Commissioner Gordon and Lieutenant Gordon at that time in Batman Year One, which was a animated feature.
Mm-hmm.
So...
Well, I'm looking at buying a PlayStation 3, but for one reason only. Guitar Hero. I don't know if you can see. That is a Guitar Hero injury. I've only had it since Monday.
Oh my god.
It's from, yeah.
How do you get injured on Guitar Hero?
I have mad skills, yo. Mad skills.
So going back to the episode.
Sorry.
We found out Walt and Skyler is not actually divorced.
Right.
Yeah.
She didn't file divorce papers.
And Skyler decides, that the laser tag doesn't really work. Instead, why don't they buy the car wash?
Yeah.
But I think when they say Danny, I'm not sure the laser... is he saying... I never looked this up. Because he's talking about a Danny. So is he calling this kind of person Danny because the guy who owns the laser tag business is Danny? Because he's saying a Danny. Somebody willing to look the other way to keep their business afloat.
Yeah, Walt did mention
who
that...
could be trusted. Yeah.
Yeah, Walt did mention that there wouldn't be a Danny at the car wash.
Again, she's right.
Mm-hmm.
And she's right.
Yeah.
She's actually a bookkeeper.
Now, how do you feel about Skyler going into all this?
I think these are examples of, if Walt had shared more with her, this may have never come to light.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, every little detail, like, hey, honey, look what the guy that I had Jesse shoot gave me. He really, looked up to me. She would have said, this is evidence. You can't keep trophies, Walt. Burn that thing. I mean, he's not smart about certain aspects. She certainly couldn't take over what he's doing. And she's not interested in it. She doesn't like it. But right now, she needs to keep it from her kids, and she needs the money to help Hank.
Well, she's forced to do this. She's handcuffed.
Right. Well, like she said, I'm in it. I'm in it. So by not getting divorced, that protects her from having to testify against him if it ever comes up, because she can't play stupid.
Mm-hmm.
If something ever happens, she can't go, oh, I didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Even though she could do that if she wanted to, because remember when she said she was locked out.
Oh, she could probably figure out a lie for that.
She is now taking these bills in hand. She has exposed the fact that they have money to Marie and Hank.
Mm-hmm.
So she can't claim she didn't know about the money. And even if, it just doesn't make any sense. A family that's struggling and she takes care of the bills, all of a sudden everything's just paid for and she's not going, wow. Like when she said $100,000 paid up out of thin air.
Yeah, so that's when
she's in it. She's got a vested interest in the people in her life, and she needs to protect Walt in order to further that interest.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And she's involved. She should help.
And that's when they hit on the idea of Walt actually, won some money gambling.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
what Saul says? Go ahead.
What did Saul say? I forgot.
Walt came up with a great idea about it coming from gambling winnings.
Uh-huh.
And Walt said, actually, that was her.
Yeah, it was
And
Skyler's
so,
idea.
You just
Right.
get beautiful every minute.
But like as Skyler said, you can't claim continuous illegal gambling winnings. So, and she was already with it. Oh, let me show you what money laundering is. It's like,
oh, yeah.
What's this? Yeah.
Yeah. And she was already familiar with it. She already...
Yeah.
Remember, didn't she help Ted kind of cook the books a little bit?
She did. Well, she didn't know, though, at the time.
Unknowingly.
Yeah, she kind of helped Ted cook the books, if you remember.
Yep. And that's later on.
No, yeah. She took the job, and then she started finding these weird discrepancies and issues, and said, "I can't sign off on these."
Mm-hmm.
And that's when it came to light that, Ted was playing around with the numbers, and she's like, "You can't do this," and she's just like, "I can't sign off on them." What she did do for him is when the IRS looked into it, was play the bimbo.
Right.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah, she did.
To make sure it didn't look as like blatant, cheating. It was a bimbo. I used the Quicken. Quicken, by the way, is for home finances, not a giant business. It's like having a calculator on your computer, but that's skipping it.
I just pressed enter and nothing popped up, so I figured everything was okay.
Yeah, nothing flashed red. And the guy's like, "Yeah, well, I can see what's going on here." So it didn't look like blatant tax evasion. And but it didn't mean, like she said, it didn't mean that he didn't owe anything. It just meant that he wouldn't be thrown in jail as long as he paid up. But she's smart. She knows what things set off red flags. And it's not like she can just pretend it's not part of her life. It is. She's just as much at risk in every way.
Yeah. So let's see. Yeah. So now there's a more plausible explanation that they've come up with for how all of a sudden the family got all this money.
Yeah.
And Saul made sure that it was just enough. That there was just enough to where there would be, to draw suspicion away.
Yeah.
But
even got casino owners who would accept, would love to claim the losses. So now it's legitimate gambling.
He was able to find a couple of guys. Yeah.
Or he already knew the guys. Whatever. But yeah. But she was right. The laser tag didn't fit. The car wash did. And like they said, they got stuck on the Danny. That's because Walt is now telling Saul, who calls Skyler Yoko Ono.
Yeah. I like when Saul mentioned about what's his name's the eyebrows. The eyebrows that go on forever.
But don't quit. Yeah. Fuck you and your eyebrows. Anyway. That's the snag. That guy with the eyebrows can't be our Danny.
No.
And so Walt goes back to Skyler and says, "Oh, we can't do this. We don't have a Danny." And she's like, "I can be your Danny." And he's like, No.
Yeah.
He wants her not to be involved at all.
Yeah.
But it's tough.
She is.
Actually, neither he nor Saul said that it was a good idea for her to be involved.
Well, they're both wrong. They're both wrong. I think they established this quite a while ago, that she wasn't going to rat him out.
Right.
As much as she may not have liked it, she wasn't going to rat him out.
Yeah.
So she doesn't want him caught. And, another brain, especially one that already knows bookkeeping, and it's perfect that he would hire her, and now she's the Danny, and she's the wife. Of course you would hire your own wife.
Yeah.
So.
Because they're not going to look into, mom and pop businesses like that.
Right. No, they wouldn't.
And, it's not that she's female. It's that they know she's not thrilled about any of this.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what scares Walt, and that's what scares Saul. But he doesn't understand that this is really about her family. It's about her kids, and it's also about Hank. And she brings that up, too.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're going forth because of what happened to, my brother-in-law.
Yeah.
And of course, we see Hank. We see Hank attempting therapy, but he doesn't feel like he can do it.
Mm-hmm.
He said he felt like a camel ball sack hanging there.
I love when he says he wants to kick Marie in the ass or something, and she's like, "If you can get your foot that high," I say, "Go for it."
No, that was great.
She's wonderful.
I love how those two play off each other. You know, how Hank and Marie, the actors, Dean Norris and Betsy Brandt, how they play off each other. Mm-hmm. Amazing, really great.
So convincing as a couple, and really a great couple. They are fantastic for each other.
Yeah.
They really care about each other, and they have accepted one another's flaws. They might nag about it, but it's like, okay, you're doing that again. Fine. But yeah, they're amazing, and she's funny. She really is. She's not afraid to say what's on her mind, except when it has to do with her kleptomania.
Right. Yeah. And we're going to see that come into play, I think, next episode or the episode after that.
Is that season 4?
Or is it season 4?
I think it's season 4.
Yeah.
I think it's her reaction to Hank's mineral collection getting out of control.
Jesus, Marie, they're minerals.
Right.
Yeah, that's season 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think the next episode, it's either next episode or Full Measures, where Hank gets the hand job in the hospital.
Yeah.
Oh, it's coming up.
I thought it was this episode, but I think it's next episode.
Another great Marie moment.
I thought it was this episode too, but I think it's either the next episode or episode after that.
It's probably the next one, because this one was you're getting out at the end of the week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's coming right up.
And Hank is like, I'm not going anywhere until I can walk out of this hospital.
Yeah, no, it doesn't work that way.
No.
Best chance you have is being sent to a rehab facility, but you don't stay in the hospital for rehab.
No. No, he, Dean Norris is on that show, Under the Dome, now.
I've got to watch that.
I watched it in the beginning, and I just lost track of it. But, did you notice, Henry? Remember the girl at the gas station?
Mm-hmm.
That Jesse is trying to pay with meth?
Yeah.
And then later, Hank comes along and interviews her, questions her, and she's scared, shitless. Well, she's in Under the Dome.
Oh, really?
And the roles are reversed. She is scaring the crap out of Dean Norris' character.
Wow.
Same girl, yeah. That was cool.
Mm-hmm.
And the only other thing I found that was kind of interesting was that in this season, the writers were doing a lot of crafty things to stimulate their imagination. And I don't know, they were making paper stuff and Anna Gunn brought them in a whole bunch of clay. So somebody used the clay in the writer's room to make the model of Tortuga's head on the tortoise, and but yeah, pretty neat. Really neat stuff.
And of course, on this episode is where we meet Andrea. We meet her son.
Yep.
Then we meet Tomas, and we see the two gangsters. Who he's working with.
Oh, and Jesse has put 2 and 2 together. They have the blue meth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Gus.
Yeah.
He suspected it. He went and he proved it to himself.
Mm-hmm. And of course, when we see what happens to Tomas.
Oh my God.
Oh.
That was messed up.
And that was because of Gus.
It was. Yeah, that's coming up next week and the week after. But we meet Gus, and Walt sits down for dinner.
Yes, Gus invites Walt to his house. That's right.
Yeah, and my friend was watching with me, and he's like, because he's seen this episode a zillion times too, there's children's furniture in the dining room at Gus's house. There's a toy truck.
Yeah.
There's some like Snoopy thing in the kitchen. And he says he doesn't make this dish often because the kids don't like it. And he's like, you know how it is to Walt. Like, you have kids, you know how picky they can be. Gus has a family. Gus has kids.
Yeah.
But that's all we ever know about it. And it makes sense because that's part of the perfect, good citizen facade.
What do you think he's just lying about that? Just keeping up with the facade?
I think he might actually have children.
He probably does.
And we just don't know about it. So that's another thing. If we can get that far in Better Call Saul, it'd be great to see a little bit more about Gus's personal life.
It would be.
And Giancarlo Esposito has already expressed interest in, being on Better Call Saul.
Oh, Gus
he would love it.
Gus has to be there in season 2, because that's how Mike and Gus will meet.
Yes.
It could be earlier, right? It could be earlier than the Walter White days because Mike and Gus already know each other. So we just have to meet Gus through Mike, and we might see the family that way.
Might be.
It'd be great. It would be great to see Gus again. Just say, "Hey, there's Gus."
Just show a Los Pollos Hermanos and have him walking around, and that's it.
oh yeah, there's another spinoff for you, Los Pollos Hermanos.
Oh, that would be awesome.
It would just be about Gus and his meth business, and yeah, that'd be fun. But I just wanted to say, in the extras they talked about in the podcast, they talked about the kid they cast as Brock, who was a very good kid, and he was cooperative with everything, and he knew his lines. But when they went at the table eating dinner at that restaurant, he was really, really low because he's little. And so Michelle McLaren told him that he had to sit in a booster seat, and he was like, no. And that was the only thing he said no to. But that he also improv'd and effectively wrote his own line. And that's when Jesse's doing the finger trick.
Oh, yeah. And then he does that trick with the straw. It looked like a caterpillar, didn't it?
Yeah. I had somebody in the restaurant actually doing that at my table. But the one with the fingers didn't impress him. Brock says that's not real. The kid made up that line, and every take he threw that in, and it made the cut. So he gets partial credit for writing in that episode. His first appearance.
That's awesome.
Good stuff.
We also have some foreshadowing. Jane said that threw up in her mouth a little bit.
Ew.
And
I didn't even think of that.
Oh.
I never even thought about that. I was just thinking how sweet he was. Jesse really is sweet.
Yeah.
And then she says, as I'm thinking, oh, how sweet. She says, oh, that's so sweet. I think I just threw up in my mouth. Yeah.
That was foreshadowing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's gross. Yeah. Oh, yeah. But it is this episode. No, maybe it's not. Oh, I'm gonna get out of there because I thought I saw Walt putting Holly down in the bassinet. Maybe I saw that in an extra for another episode, but he laid her down on her back. And after everything they did with Jane and having the side sleeper for the baby.
Oh, yeah, he puts that towel next to the baby.
Yeah, but he didn't do it in this episode. I don't know if it was this episode or it's coming up, but he lays her flat on her back in the bassinet, and I was like, what? No, you're supposed to...
Actually, it was this episode. He did lay her down, flat on her back.
Was?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember, when my son was born, this whole paranoia was going on because you don't lay them on their stomachs because they can suffocate.
Yeah.
And you don't lay them on their back because they could do a chain. So I was like, what am I supposed to do? And, so you prop them up on their side, and shortly after that, they made side sleepers. It was like a baby wedge.
Mm-hmm.
You just insert baby on side.
Yeah.
It was like damned if you do, damned if you don't. Around the time my son was born.
Mm-hmm. And we also saw the great camera work with Walt and Skyler on each side of the window and Walt Jr. in the middle. And we saw that again during the Walt and Gus scene as well.
Yeah, that was the camera work on this show was just.
What scene do you mean the other side of the glass? What do you mean, Shane? The other side of the glass?
Oh, the outside of the window. You got Walt and Skyler and they have the camera shot that's outside the window, and you're looking in through the White's window when they're at the kitchen table.
Wow, I wasn't paying attention to that stuff. That's bad today. Guitar Hero is taking over my life.
But yeah, it just the camera work is really amazing. The way they point through they give you a point of view, through the kitchen or through the dining room window.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they were talking to something about looking over the back of Jesse and Jane to the painting at one point.
Mm-hmm.
So you see them from behind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
At first. But that was done so like a play. Can you imagine being a little school kid and one steps up and says his line and the other one steps up and says her line? It was done just like that.
Yeah.
It was almost not real.
It was amazing the way they did that. That just, once again, credit to the camera work and the director and everything. And the editor. The editing on this show is just truly amazing.
Kelly
like
Dixon.
we talked about last week with the stunt work, where they transitioned the stunt man into Bryan Cranston laying on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
It was so seamless.
Yeah, on some TV shows you can catch that where they edit it, but on Breaking Bad you can't catch that.
I know. It's a tribute to the editing work that they did on that episode.
I think Michelle McLaren said regarding the camera work, "Thanks for saving my butt again," because she was directing it, and they just, yeah, what a crew. What a crew. Oh, and just to clarify something, Shane, I would love to go to New Mexico and be an extra. I don't know, sit at a Denny's and eat my Grand Slam. But I don't want to be famous. I want to be rich. Don't ever really want to be famous.
I don't know how much they pay to be an extra.
Oh, I know. Not, I think sometimes it's like, you get to be on the set. Thank you, that's your pay. But
yeah,
probably not much. not much at all. You don't really have to do anything. But you were talking about that last week, the path to fame. And I don't want to be famous. That sounds like people would bother you too much. I just want to be rich and left in peace. Decided that a long time ago.
Oh, MythBusters is going to do the scene for Walt on the finale. Felina. The machine gun. Yes, the machine gun. They're going to test that myth out, see if it can actually be possible in doing that. And I think it's going to air tomorrow.
Oh, man.
Really?
Yeah, I'm checking it right now.
Okay, can I tell you, I'm rooting for possible.
I'm rooting for I hope it's real.
Because they put a lot of thought into that. The work that went into every bullet hole.
Mm-hmm.
That was insane. The amount of work they did in that scene.
Yeah. They also did a actual Breaking Bad special where they tested the myth about the very first episode where
the decomposition, right?
I think so.
Yeah, they tested that one out, and they said it would take a really long time. I think. Mm-hmm. I think they did try that.
They tested the bathtub, and they tested the fulminated mercury one.
Oh yeah.
Tuco's hideout, and they said that Walt would have died if that actually happened.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Walt would have got blown up.
Yeah, he would have.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, we all know that the idea that you need to have methylamine, a source of methylamine, really doesn't cut it. I wish they had thought of something else that they needed they couldn't get their hands on, but maybe there wasn't. Or maybe it should have been, the pseudo cook and not the biker style. Because, like they said in Mexico, it's a simple. If Walt could have done it, Walt could have made his own methylamine.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the basis for a lot of big things.
Yeah.
A big episode in season 5 that I can think of that is epic. They didn't really have to do that, though.
Mm-hmm.
So, that makes me sad. Because I like, I don't want the show to have too many holes.
I hope they do the one with the magnet.
Oh yeah, bitch, magnets.
Not only, with the room, and see if you could do it outside all of that concrete.
Yeah, I think that would be a great myth test.
But what'd you say they're gonna do? The machine gun? Are they gonna use the M60?
Yeah, they're gonna do it as possible as possible as they can.
Wow.
Yeah.
That'll be fun to see. And can you ricochet? Whoa, shoot! Okay. I'm gonna have to go. I just jumped a whole glass of water into my purse.
Oh, jeez.
Which is sitting on the floor.
I think we covered most of this.
Yeah, I think we did. I don't think we missed very much, if anything.
Welcome to my life. Sorry.
I really don't think we missed anything. I don't think we missed anything.
The phone. Gus installed a phone in the lab.
And
yeah.
This is
Yeah. I'm so sad.
It's okay.
Yeah, I made a big mess. And my purse has lots of stuff in it, electronics and
oh crap,
paper, and so I have a lot of stuff to dry off.
So anyway, next week, and we've been waiting for this next week. Oh my God, Half Measures.
Half Measures. That's going to be a good one. I cannot wait.
Oh yeah, that's going to be awesome. I'm going to be watching it with the commentary because Jonathan Banks is part of the commentary. on half measures, like the behind the scenes commentary. So
and Ellen, your girl's back next week. Wendy's
back next week.
She's back. The whole.
Oh, because I know what
montage.
Jesse's trying to do, right?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Oh,
Wendy! Yeah, Wendy! Right,
You don't remember Wendy, the prostitute?
Yeah, now I remember.
Yeah, she's back next week.
Jesse gives her a little job to do.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. That's right.
And Mike gets in the way.
Yeah, during that whole montage scene, some guy actually thought she was a real prostitute and tried to pick her up.
Yes! And she doesn't look like that in real life.
Oh, no. I know. She does not. I Googled her.
Oh, God. So, you guys, I'm going to sign off because I got a big mess here.
Okay.
All right.
I'm such a klutz. I have to spill something like 2 or 3 times a week, or it can't be me. So.
All right.
Next Friday?
Next Friday at 8.
All right.
Yep.
Half measures.
You guys have a good week.
You too.
You too.